Oh my god, my letter from last year came.
Merry Christmas!
Hi Joe, I hope you kept our word or else the rest of this letter is a lot less fun and meaningful. So last year I wrote my future self a letter promising to quit my job, and now I'm opening it a year later in crabby Thailand, living a completely different life.
Oh my god. Holy shit.
So for some context, I wrote this in January of 2022. I was living in New York City, working my investment banking job, and my recurring core life crisis hit. What the am I doing with my life? So my friend Justin has been pushing his friends to do this Dear Future Me letter, and I was desperate, so I decided to give it a shot. Merry Christmas, Joe. I am scared. Oh, so cringe, but at least we're vulnerable. Okay, let's go. It's been about 4 months since I actually started working, and I promised myself I would quit investment banking by the end of 2022. Chapter 1, expectations do not equal reality. Nothing is as terrible or spectacular as expected. So funny thing is, this used to be my dream job. It was prestigious, it paid well, it was interesting sometimes. You got to work with very powerful, driven people, big corporations that sometimes make it to the Wall Street Journal. I devoted an absurd amount of time in college to getting this job, and then I quit a little over a year later. The realization hit during my internship, so it was summer 2020, so peak COVID, and I realized this is my last summer going back to school after an internship, and that these 80-hour work weeks would become my reality. I thought to myself, there has to be more to life than this, right? Chapter 2, knowledge is power, but ignorance is truly bliss. But what do I do instead? And this question drove me into freaking depression because I didn't know. I was so used to thinking within the confinements of societal construct, like go to school, get the job, and striving for success within those parameters, that I didn't know how to think outside the box. I think that put me in a really dark place subconsciously because I knew I was going into something I did not want to do, but I did not know how to not do it. And it was just so frustrating. So I spent like the last year of college trying a bunch of different things, and nothing seemed to work out, which was great, of course. Chapter 3, the silver lining. Doing stuff builds confidence. Working in banking was low-key great, not for the work or the hours itself, but for the people, because these people were freaking machines and they got shit done. Physically being in the environment every single day made me want to become a Terminator as well, and it just really proved to myself that wow, like I can really get stuff done, and like that felt really good, just learning every day, improving, being with people who are so driven. But remember, the silver lining, liking improvement is separate from liking the job. Those are separate things, and I had to remind myself that just because I was getting better at my job doesn't mean I was liking it more. I cannot gaslight myself into thinking that way. Chapter 4, reevaluating and reprogramming the brain. Tough one. So now moving past the silver lining, if I took a step back and asked myself some important questions, such as if I didn't get paid as much as I did, would I still be at this job? No. Does it make you feel fulfilled, alive, super passionate to go to work every day? Also no. And honestly, I didn't hate this job. I just didn't love it enough for it to consume my life. Maybe if I were doing 40 hours instead of 80, it would be fine, but that is just not the case. So part of that is like letting go of the prestige, money, stability that came with the job. And that was honestly so hard because lifestyle inflation was real. It's such a privileged thing, but it was just, it happened. I'm sorry. It's also learning to not tie my identity and self-worth to this job, meaning treating like the highs and lows of apathy. If I did really well, then it'd be okay, I did well, move on. If I messed up and I got yelled at by my boss, then it would be like, okay, how do we fix this and move on? Either way, not putting so much emphasis on either end of the spectrum was good for me. Another part is knowing myself and my priorities and what I value. I mean, luxury bags and a nice Soho dinner would be nice, but is it a necessity? And honestly, for me, it was no. I didn't need these things. They didn't drastically improve my life or happiness. So ultimately, it was okay to like sacrifice these things for freedom, exploration, creativity. I'm in a very privileged place of being young, having been able to do this job, to have the funds to do this. I understand not everyone has this freedom. If you do have the means to do it, I definitely highly encourage you to, because you learn so much. Even if it doesn't go well, honestly, I think you grow more from things not going well. So highly recommend, do it. 10 out of 10. Chapter 5, figuring myself out. So for this, I try to ask myself what made me feel the most alive, happy, fulfilled, traveling and meeting new people, experiencing different foods and cultures, because I think that really expanded my worldview and did not confine me to like my little New York City bubble. And I'm just so easily fascinated that they speak 3 languages. I'm like, wow, we speak 1 and maybe another in the US, and you speak 2 your God, or that you can have such better access to convenience store food, order a motorbike to come get you instead of a taxi. Life is great outside the US as well. Chapter 6, pulling trigger and actually doing it, even if you're scared, which I was. of course. As some of you may know, I'm doing this thing called Project 12, where I'm living in 12 cities in 12 months and documenting and sharing it here on YouTube and other social media platforms as well. So follow me across those if you have not. All right, let's read an excerpt from the letter. Ugh. If you did quit Joe, congrats on having no stable income, but also a shit ton of freedom and the biggest fucking boss. Let's go. You're probably a nomad now and maybe got rid of half your closet. Not sure how you would carry that if you're supposedly traveling the world. Yes, that's been a problem, but moving on. The goal to travel, food vlog, see the world, connect to different people and cultures sounds pretty freaking cool in theory, but how is the real deal? Is it difficult, lonely, and frustrating, but simultaneously rewarding and freeing? She knows what is up. Regardless, this will help you grow faster and learn a lot by yourself. Also, reminder, you can always change what you want. You have a choice. Honestly, super powerful. It's a little bit past the 6-month mark now of Project 12, and it's been so rewarding. I've been meeting so many different people and hearing their stories. People who are like my age or younger, or people who are like 70. It's been incredibly inspiring how they view life, work, relationships. It's just so different from what I'm used to. These people are like taking risks. They're like moving abroad for love or solo traveling at 70, rediscovering themselves at 40, doing 180s in their careers, doing jobs I've never heard of. It's just insane that like I never even heard about these things or knew or would have known if I continued staying at my job. People live so differently and like it's completely fine to do it that way. Like why would I so fixated on living that investment banking life? I don't know. And chapter 7, conclusion. All right, let's end with her. I really do think your 20s are for experiencing and experimenting because you have time. You get like a free pass to like just fuck shit up and then like fix it. So embrace that and like let it flow. I don't know what I'm doing. Nobody knows what they're doing. We're just all figuring it out. So let's do it together. How's life fun if it's too predictable and too stable? Regardless, you made the right choice because the alternative would be regretting not trying, and we'd rather live to the fullest and experience the ups and downs of life. Please write a letter to future Joe and tell her, hello, let's keep experiencing life and embracing the journey. Past Joe. Oh, so sweet. Okay, thank you for making it this far and for listening to my story. Hopefully you got something out of it and you're inspired to do your own thing. Write your future self a letter. Hope your dreams come true as well. Thank you for watching and subscribe to follow along. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!